All right, Uncle. 3, 2, 1.
You can start now, Uncle.
Jai Shri Mataji. I remember in the 80s when Shri Mataji returned from Brisbane, and it was her first public program there. She said that it was very unexpected and she found the people very receptive, and mentioned that this will be the place where Sahaj Yoga will flourish very much. So traveling with Shri Mataji from the 80s till 2000, I've had some very wonderful experiences. When I came to Sahaj Yoga in 1976, programs are in Bombay, Maharashtra, and only Delhi. I come from a very right-sided background. I was running export business internationally. Everything had to be perfect. Everything had to be organized. So I was wondering how Sahaj Yoga will spread, because there was no organization, there was no office, there was no bank account, and I was wondering how the rest of India will reach out to. But then, as things started moving spontaneously, I started getting the picture of Ritumbara Pragya, how things move spontaneously. For instance, this is going back around 86. We were in Jaipur. Shri Mataji had a very hectic week in Delhi, so we suggested that she could come to Jaipur and rest for a while, and nobody would know. So we checked into a hotel, Rambagh Palace in Jaipur. And the next day, Shri Mataji said she would like to go shopping. And we were at a jeweler's shop. Suddenly a lady came running. Shri Mataji, don't you remember me? You had cured me of my asthma in Pune. Shri Mataji cures hundreds of people every day. So she didn't quite recall. But this lady, her name was Mrs. Partal. She was insistent, you must come to my house, you must come to my house. So I tried to explain to her that Shri Mataji has come here to rest and she's not seeing people. But the lady was persistent. So Shri Mataji agreed to visit her the next day in the evening. And when we arrived there, you wouldn't believe the whole of Jaipur was there, because the word had spread that this lady had got cured, so her friends and friends of friends. So it became like a mini public program in her house. She had a big house. And it went on for a very long time. Shri Mataji explained them what Sahaj Yoga is, gave them realization. So they were very keen. Shri Mataji, you must do a big program here. They had the president of the Lions Club, and he would host the program. But Shri Mataji was leaving the next morning. So she said she'll come next year, and the Lions Club would host her. And the next year when Shri Mataji came, there were very big programs organized by the Lions Club, and that is how Sahaj Yoga started in Jaipur. And from Jaipur it went on to the rest of Rajasthan. In Calcutta, it happened like this, that Rajesh Shah had a business associate there, and he was not a Sahaj Yogi at that time, but they invited Shri Mataji for a program. And the first program was in a hotel. And there were only 2 people who came for the program. But Shri Mataji spoke to them as if it was a full house. And she did a full 1.5 hour, 2 hour program, like it was to a full audience. And we were a bit surprised. And then she said, don't worry, these 2 people who've come will be the pillars of Sage Yoga. And sure enough, the next time, these 2 people organized a huge program and we had a full house. So that got Kolkata going, and from there it went on to Shillong, to Assam, the whole of Northeast. And then we moved further south, Chennai. Shri Mataji had cured a businessman in Mumbai of a heart problem, but he was from Chennai. So he was very keen that Shri Mataji should come to Chennai. And he hosted her program there. And that's how the South started. And through Chennai, they worked out programs in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, and all these cities close by. But what happened in Bangalore, the first program, it was in the town hall, and only 7 people had come. So I requested Shri Mataji that, I can conduct the program, she can rest. But the next day when we were leaving Bangalore, we had a flight to Pune. The flight took off and we circled the sky and again it landed back. And this happened twice. So Shri Mataji said, this is Maheshasur and he is creating this problem. So you have to say 108 times the mantra of Maheshasur Mardini. So I repeated that mantra 108 times. And the 3rd time after that, the flight took off and there was no problem. So there was also negativity at the level of the void. Same thing happened in Varanasi. As you know, Varanasi is full of all the false gurus. So just before the program, there was a massive attack and Shri Mataji couldn't move. Her knee had such a tremendous pain. So we tried to find some doctor, but there was a Vaidji in a lane close by. And he came along. And he recognized Shri Mataji somehow. And then he prayed to her. He said that you are the goddess and you alone can cure yourself. We can only pray to you. So he prayed to her with such sincerity. And he recited a few shlokas in praise of the goddess. And miraculously, Shri Mataji's knee, the vibrations released and she stood up and conducted the program. And then Varanasi started off. In this way, without any organization, without any money involved, she paid for her own travel. If any one of us traveled with her, we bought our own ticket. And generally stayed in the houses of the hosts who had invited us. Sage Yoga grew the length and the breadth of India. So where was the organization? Where was the office? Where were the secretaries? It was just Vrittambara Pragya. One memory still stays with me. This is in early 1980. This was a handful of us, and we accompanied Shri Mataji to Haridwar. It was not a program, and in the evening, she said we'll do a small puja at the Har Ki Pauri, where all of us will get a chance to wash her lotus feet. So she stood on the steps of the Har Ki Pauri, and all of us, one by one, poured the Ganga Jal at her lotus feet. And then suddenly, the Ganges rose up to the steps where she was standing and circumambulated her lotus feet, and then again subsided. And we were also shocked that how did the Ganges suddenly rise 3 feet high, worshipped her lotus feet, and then subsided. So nature, the deities, the elements, everything worked, everything helped in organizing the programs. Each city had a miraculous story to tell. They were not getting the hall, and how suddenly this happened and that happened, and they got the hall free, or how the public, even not knowing her, because at that time Sahaj Yoga had was not so well known in India, but looking at her posters, people recognized something in themselves, and that brought them to the program. But mind you, it was a period where everybody was entangled with some guru or the other, because in the Indian household, you take on a guru from the very beginning. But despite that, they were able to feel the vibrations, they were able to recognize the truth, and they were able to come out of the void. So it doesn't matter if you've been here and there, a little bit damage would be there in some chakra, but the power of the Kundalini is much more powerful, and it can overcome the chakras. So nobody should feel disheartened that I have this catch, I have that catch. People get very discouraged. You know, how will I get all right? When will I get all right? The main thing is to feel the connection with her, to feel her in your own heart. And if that is there, if she's enshrined in your heart, then the rest works. Because all the deities obey her. So even if chakras are damaged, jammed, you've got some horrible disease, it'll work out. But we don't have patience with ourselves. People say, oh, I've been doing Sage Yoga for so many years, and yet this hasn't worked out, that hasn't worked out, my financial problems haven't worked out, my domestic problems have not worked out, I still haven't got a job. So there is an impatience. We are breathless with impatience. But Ritumbara Pragya works in its own pace. Sage Yoga has its own momentum. You cannot time it. Because in her kingdom, there is no such thing as time. We go by the watch, by the days in the calendar. But in her calendar, there are no dates. So you have to learn to be patient. If you have faith, then it's possible to be patient. But if you want just results, that I did it, nothing happened to me, then it's not possible. So for all new people, old people who are still carrying on with some problem or the other, have faith. It will work out in its own time, in its own pace. But it is her promise that the river has to meet the ocean in your lifetime. And I've seen many, many such cases of people that I had given up hope on. She asked me to work on somebody who's been there for a long time, and I just said, Shimaji, he's a crackpot. And she just looked at me and said, then what are you doing? If you can't, what kind of a sage you are if you don't know how to open a crackpot? So even those she has broken. And I've seen those people over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, well settled in life, with wonderful grandchildren and great sage yogis. So we cannot predict, we cannot take for granted that so-and-so will not make it. Anybody who is sincere, who holds on to even a bit of her sari, will surely make it, but in time. So our conflict comes in the measure of time, because we live between cause and effect, and cause and effect happens in the space of time. So if we jump cause and effect, then we become timeless. As you said, become gunatit, kalatit. And that's where we have to get to. So thank you very much. We can do a short meditation. Let us bow down to Shri Mataji, say the three mantras, Shri Ganesh mantra, and then we will proceed with our meditation. Yes, Shri Mataji. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini Moksha Pradaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesh Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Please raise your Kundalini, take a bandhan. Place both your hands on Mother Earth and pray to Shri Mataji. Please, Shri Mataji, please, all our negativities of our chakras and our nadis be absorbed by Mother Earth. हे आदि भूमि देवी माता, कृपया मेरे सभी चक्र और सभी नाड़ियों के दोष अर्पण कीजिए. Shri Mataji, I am innocent like Shri Ganesha. You have made me auspicious like Shri Ganesha. You have made me chaste like Shri Ganesha. You have made me wise like Shri Ganesha. You have given me the devotion of Shri Ganesha. Place your hands back on your laps. Close your eyes and we will say, Shri Mataji, we are devoted to you like Shri Ganesha is devoted. Shri Mataji, we are devoted to you like Shri Ganesha is devoted. Shri Mataji, we are devoted to you like Shri Mataji, we are devoted to you like Shri Ganesha is devoted. Feel that devotion for Shri Mataji in your heart. Feel the love for Shri Mataji in your heart. Don't listen to any other sounds in your body. Don't listen to the sounds of your brain chattering. Don't listen to the sound of your liver jumping. Don't listen to the sound of your nabhi getting hectic. Just feel the devotion, nothing else. Don't ask for anything. Don't desire anything. Total silence. In that zero state, just feel devotion. Devotion and devotion. Love for Shri Mataji. Love for Shri Mataji. In my heart, in every pore of my body, in my brain, only the love of Shri Mataji. Allow that love to grow, to rise, to spread. Just feeling that love for her. That love will expand by itself. We have to do nothing. Ritambara Pragya does everything. It takes over everything. You have to be effortless. No tension anywhere in your body. No tension in any chakra. Don't focus anywhere. Only feel the love for her. Nothing else. The love is so gentle, so sublime, so peaceful, so joy-giving. You will spontaneously feel that joy in your sesta, effortlessly. You have to do nothing. Just relax and allow Ruttambara Pragya to take over. Just relax. You have to do nothing. Shri Mataji does everything. You have to do nothing. You don't even have to think. She will think. She will plan. Just enjoy the joy of her presence. Nothing else. Just the joy of her love. Nothing else. The joy will spread by itself. It will change the world by itself. Without our effort. Without our thinking about it. Without our planning. Effortless. Now very slowly open your eyes and do pranam to Shri Mataji. Now we can listen to a talk of Shri Mataji.
We close the door, I think. That's all.
That's all for you.
Yeah. I'm happy that you all were meditating here and we're trying to develop your depth. You all have depth, a very deep personality within yourself. But we have to touch that. That's very important. Because, you see, we sing, have music, that's a very good thing. We enjoy each other's company also is very good. And that's a nice thing. But we have to enjoy our own company also. By meditating, going within yourself. Now, what is the use? One may ask, Mother, now we have got realization, we have a nice life, we are enjoying ourselves, we are doing so well. The deeper you go, the deeper you touch the essences of all the things, like all the elements. When you had finished your meditation, you saw how the rain fell down, how the rain came suddenly. So rain has felt your depth, or you have felt the depth of rain. Now you know that if you light one little candle and put your finger towards it, with my photograph there, it acts, it reacts, and it gives you a flame which burns, sometimes gives you smoke, sometimes it gallops. So you have noticed that there's a reaction even in the fire. So all elements have got an effect. If a saint wants to have an effect. But first of all, you must reach your own essences. Once you reach your own essences, then you reach the essences of all the elements. And then you can handle all the elements as you like, or you can order them as you like. First, they will act, expressing that they have been touched. Like today, the rain came pouring down. Then later on, you can command, and you can ask the rain to come, to work out many things. Of that kind, we have to be deep people. We have to go much deeper within ourselves to touch our essences. That is, you know very well that all our chakras are made out of these essences. And when we go deep into ourselves, what we find that we can touch the elements very well. But while doing so, actually we move horizontally. When we start moving horizontally, at the core of it, we find that there are these essences placed. And these essences then start exciting the essences across. Like in the radio, you have seen this ether. Now, when you speak on one side of the radio, it gets completely manifested in the essence of the ether, and then everybody can hear it. Now when you people just give a bandhan, sometimes you find that you have communicated with another person. But that's only the essence of the ether, or we can say the subtler of the subtlest. People have only gone onto the subtler side, we can say, by science, but you go to the subtlest side, and that subtlest side gives you all these effects. Now you have seen also that in some of the photographs, suddenly you find light coming out of my hand, or there's somebody shown us with a light, somebody's from the head the light is coming. You have seen all this. This is done also by the same method. But here, the deities, like Vishnu Maya, works out. She's very active, she works it out, she does all these things. And you know that also, that when they gave me once a beautiful crown in Switzerland, in the sky, they got the photograph of the same, very beautifully done. The crown was there, Fatima's crown, my face, my eyes and everything so clearly. All this is done by Vishnu Maya. So all the essences are working out for you, as well as all the deities are working out for you. They are very anxious that these things should be done, and you are the channels for them to work it out. Now, for example, as I told you the other day, if you don't keep yourself all right, a simple thing I told you to put in the nose some ghee. It's a very simple thing, but that helps me a lot, because that helps my Vishuddhi. But if you don't do it, I suck in any case. Whatever problems you have, I suck in. I suck in the problem of Sahajogis, also the problem of the city where I am, also the problem of the country where I am, maybe of the whole universe. But my horizontal movement is quite large and is very subtle. And I do it quietly. But you must also understand that you can do a lot by your horizontal movement. By horizontal movement, what happens? That you start meditating on a particular subject, which is a very bothersome subject and which is for the destructive of humanity. Anything. You just put your attention to it and meditate. If you are that deep, that means if your caliber has improved to that extent, you will immediately put an effect on that. Immediately you will see there will be a change. There will be something happening in that direction. This is your power, which you have to actually develop. So we have to meditate. And by meditation, we develop that strength within us. So automatically we start solving the problem. Like our antennae grow up to that point. The way we are strong inside, they grow outside to help so many things which are to be helped. Now you see that people are realizing that the world is in a great mess, and there are lots of problems that have come through materialism, through wrong thinking, through emotional thinking, through stupidity, we can say. We have no time for all this. What we have to do is to develop ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper, so that on horizontal plane also we are effective. Saj Yoga, first of all, is for personal improvement, is for the inner improvement as far as the personal side is concerned. Means your intelligence must improve, your temperament must improve, your heart must clear out, your feelings must be all right, then you should, your health should be all right, then your relationship with others should be all right, your ego should go away, your superego should go away. All these things are there. But this only helps a personality, just a personality that is very limited, that is yourself. But now this personality can become an instrument if you can develop that depth within yourself. But normally what happens, people are very much still worried about themselves, say about their wives, about their children, about their husbands or their household or this and that. These are not important things, because we have to be those instruments which are what you call them like pilotless bombs. We have to develop that depth within us. That depth is possible, and you can really cure many problems of your country if you could just meditate on that. Now for today, I had actually sucked in most of the problems which I felt were there in Canberra and later on in that conference and later on here. All these problems came into my understanding, I would say, and I was trying to work on them. My working style is different because I have very sharp and very effective instruments. But I have to pay attention to it, and I little bit suffer also, doesn't matter. Now for you also, it is important that you also develop those deeper feelings within you, deeper sense within you. But mostly people are very superficial type. They just think about their body, their impressions, how they carry themselves. At the most they think we have to be very legal minded, or we have to be at the most not drinking, not smoking, and all these things are achieved and we have achieved everything. But I think that is not so. And second point is that we think that if we love each other, if we love mother, that is the end of everything. It's not true also. Because your love for me is there, no doubt, and it should be intense, it should be deeper. But the deeper you go into that love, then you will be surprised how you receive a special quality of correcting the things that are wrong around you. Gradually that quality improves. For example, a Saj Yogi goes to anybody's house, that house must become auspicious. But such a Saj Yogi must have a good heart. If the heart is not good, in the heart there is still anger, passion, lust, greed, then such a heart won't affect. But a person who has purified himself, if he goes into any family, any household, any society, the whole change will take place. The circumstances will change. Things that do not work out will start working out immediately. Like they said, Mother, as soon as you sent from this Sunday, everything started working out as far as the television is concerned and radio is concerned. And all that. I didn't do anything, in a way. But that should happen with you also. Wherever a saint goes, things are changing. But you have to be a saint. And a saintly person has a very deep understanding of another person. And this is what it is lacking. We don't have that deep understanding for each other. Then even if you have for some of your own friends or maybe in the same ashram that you are staying in, all that, but it should deepen much more. It should go further and further. Now even if you think of me, it works out. It's the other way around also. But first of all, the meditative process should be increased. We all must meditate. That is very important. Meditate sincerely. Not just because we have to meditate, but because we have to be deep, we have to grow within, to express our great powers of divine love, to correct so many things, which you can do very easily. I know you all can do it. There's no need to have big degrees for that, big education for that. Nothing is needed. What is needed is a deep feeling of love for the whole universe. And that changes. All destructive forces change their course, and it is then for the constructive force. But on the whole, that works out much faster if you all do that meditation with sincerity, with intensity, with understanding. All right? May God bless you.
Thank you, Uncle. Shri Mataji. Thank you, Uncle.
Ah,
Beautiful meditation today.
who was playing this flute music?
It was online, Uncle.
Nini, online, but who was the?
Let me check एक second मैं बताती हूँ आपको.
It was
It's Hari Prasad Chaurasia. Yes, it's Hari Prasad Chaurasia.
Very soothing,
we'll send you a link as well.
very appropriate.
Thank you, Uncle. It was a beautiful meditation. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, I'll send you the stories. Okay,
Uncle,
Thank you, Uncle.
have a good day ahead, Uncle.
you too. Jai Shri Mataji.
Shri Mataji. Should we end the meeting, Uncle?
Huh?
We end the meeting?
Yeah, in the meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle. Hopefully we'll see you.